Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Mufc Realist. This is Mick Ruby with today's transfer bomb of the day of recording Sunday. And of course, we saw Manchester United playing a brilliant display of football, the 65 minutes, the best I've seen Manchester United play. But of course, on this video, we're going to talk about the race is on. The man of the hour, Newcastle, going head to head with Manchester United. And next week will be a very, very important, what Mick Ruby was saying, but also confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. That is what we're going to talk about in this video this Sunday. But please, guys, this is very important for Manchester United. We might need a striker. We might not need a striker. We're going to talk about Rasmus Højlund's performance and everything else in the midfield and the defense and the goalkeeping situation. But guys, do me a massive favor. Do not forget to like and subscribe. And let's dive right into the transfer bullets, shall we? Let's go. Set.
And Garnacho!
Has the Premier League ever been more challenging?
Will you be in the dugout at Old Trafford on Sunday? I will be here. Definitely.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's go. There was Bruno scoring 2 goals yesterday. And, Amorim, this is starting to cook. Is it a secret weapon? I was arguing to say yesterday's 2-1 victory against West Ham was the best 65 minutes I've seen Manchester United play under Ruben Amorim. And that's pretty much assessing. Even Rasmus Højlund in the first minute almost scored a goal. And that begs the question, do we need a striker? Yes, we do, 100%. Do we need a midfielder? No, I don't think so. Because if we looked at midfield yesterday, I thought that Ugarte in the pairing with Maino was sublime, with Cunha roaming in, drifting in, cutting in the center. Oh my God, it was so good. And Bruno scoring 2 goals. The defense was sublime with Aiden Heaven, with De Ligt, with Lenny Yoro, and even Alta Bariander had a really good game. And one that I really, really liked yesterday was also Patrick Dorgo. Second season for Patrick Dorgo now. Actually, it's not really second season since it came in January. So the question is, do we really need a striker? I would say yes, 100% we will. And this is what we're going to talk about. Benjamin Šeško, Ollie Watkins. I don't think that Manchester United will go for Watkins, but stick around for this one because I'm going to tell you why exactly. So without any further ado, the man of the hour over there is Benjamin Šeško. This morning, about 5 hours ago, Mick Ruby reported following things just in. Let's add this to the stage, people. No panic stations. There we go. Bam. See, Mick Ruby posted this just early morning after, the Manchester United game against West Ham, as I do tend to get exclusive information from Benjamin Šeško's camp as well. Just in the next week will be a very important week for Sesko, the Slovenian striker, as Newcastle are pushing hard and Manchester United are still discussing and deciding internally. Sesko has already given the green light to United and told he wants to join the project. And guys, you remember one thing. Ruben Amorim told everyone that he will only sign players that are willing to play for Manchester United and the project. And we heard it before that Benjamin Šeško wants to play for Manchester United. He doesn't really care about Champions League or Europa League. He's keen to join the project. And we know that the price has been set on £60 million plus 4 add-ons. Let's continue the story. There will be no bidding war, according to my understanding, as Sesko and RB Leipzig have kind of agreed a gentleman's agreement that he can leave for 60 million plus 4 add-ons. So that means that they have excellent relationship with Benjamin Šeško's agent, Elvis Busanovic, and Sesko himself and RB Leipzig. They have a gentleman's agreement because they felt a little bit betrayed that over the Arsenal, they were kind of held for ransom for 80 million euros. But now they are kind of coming down, lowering down the prices for a particular Premier League clubs like Manchester United and like Newcastle. What I've been hearing, he doesn't really fancy Newcastle that much. He's more interested in joining a big club such as Manchester United. But however, Newcastle are looking for an Isak replacement, according to my understanding as well. And therefore, they can only bid once Isak is sold. Now, the race is on, according to my opinion. Let me know what you think. I'm going to sort of break it down a little bit because at the end of the day, Liverpool in a position that they want to buy Isak, but they need to offload Luis Diaz. They need to offload also Darwin Núñez. And that is taking a little bit of time before Liverpool can move. So, and what's going on with Newcastle? Well, we know that Isak is kind of forcing a move. He doesn't really want to be there. But the thing is that Newcastle, according to the PSR, cannot just go in and buy Sesko before even offloading, Isak, So that's what it is. And that gives Manchester United very, very much time. So apparently they are pushing, Newcastle are kind of pushing to get a club-to-club negotiation, to get a little bit of head start of Man United, because they're aware of Manchester United's interest. Now, don't take it from me, of course. I reported early because I got the news, but take it from the transfer beacon himself, Fabrizio Romano, because 4 hours after I posted, Fabrizio Romano actually did a video. Here we go. Fabrizio Romano confirming what Mick Ruby was saying. Add this to the stage and take it to the bank. Whoops.
Week for the future of Benjamin Šeško. Newcastle are going very big with this contract proposal ready for the player, and they are also ready to approach RB Leipzig. So Newcastle are going very strong for Benjamin Šeško.
As what I say, they are going very strong, and I apologize for what happened there. I don't know what area. I'd like to keep it raw. But what Fabrizio Romano is saying, that Newcastle are going very strong. Listen to this carefully now.
And they are prepared to make important things happen for the Slovenian striker. So Newcastle will go big next week. Manchester United are still discussing Benjamin Šeško internally.
Yes, they are still discussing Benjamin Šeško internally. I mean, Benjamin Šeško has been on Manchester United's radar ever since 2018. It's been clearly linked. So there's no brainer. And this is an Ineos prodigy, what they want to do. So if you compare aging Ollie Watkins, 29, doesn't really fit what Ineos wants to do. They look at longevity, and they're still discussing. That's why they approach Newcastle to ask the conditions. They're basically gathering the data. Oh, you want 60 million? Well, hang on. Here's Benjamin Šeško, 60 million, and he's 6 years younger than Ollie Watkins. Fabrizio, let's continue. Hello.
It's an expensive deal, so it's not easy. But don't forget the gentleman agreement I told you. For some clubs indicated by Benjamin Šeško as special clubs for him, the price of the Šeško package can be 70, 80 million euros fixed, 5, 10 million euros in advance.
So Fabrizio is confirming in euros, but we're going to convert it in British pounds. So it is 60 million pounds plus 4 or 5 million add-ons, and we don't really count add-ons. So add-ons can be anything, like silly. Benjamin Šeško, scores 20 goals. Benjamin Šeško takes Manchester United to Champions League top 4. Those easy add-ons or difficult add-ons. But what clubs really do, they're fixed on the fixed fee, which is 60 million euros, which Manchester United will Christopher Vevell, which has excellent relationship with RB Leipzig and know Benjamin Šeško inside out, as he scouted Benjamin Šeško and brought him into the RBL group. So this is a no-brainer. If Manchester United come pouncing in over Newcastle, I think they will win the race, basically because of the relationship and discussing how we can actually break it down in installments. Important thing to mention as well, the RBL are desperate in need for money. They need to raise 100 million this year because they're not in Champions League, they're not in Europe whatsoever, and there's 2 valuable assets that they want to sell, and there's Xavi Simons and there's Benjamin Šeško. Now, Xavi Simons at the moment is advanced talk with Chelsea. Of course, who else? Chelsea. Chelsea keeps hoovering up all the talent. So if they get 60 million for Xavi Simons, there is lenient pressure to actually demand and extort more money for Benjamin Šeško. So they will kind of come down to 60 or 55 million pounds that could be negotiated. It's not that expensive deal like Ollie Watkins, in my opinion, because agent's fee is less. The salary, personal terms is less as well than Ollie Watkins. I think Ollie Watkins will demand 200k a week. Benjamin Šeško something around 120, 115, similar what they did with Arsenal as well. So let's continue with Fabrizio Romano, what he's saying. Fabrizio, allora, let's continue.
This gentleman agreement between Šeško and Leipzig, in very good relationship, the player, the agent and the club, can be an important factor, with Newcastle going very big and with Manchester United discussing strikers and Šeško internally. So keep an eye on this story in the next week and in the next days, because Newcastle will go with an important proposal. Manchester United will discuss his name again internally.
Well, I think that Manchester United are aware right now with Newcastle's intent. And I think that now it's the time to sort of Speedy Gonzalez. You've been sitting, with your hands on your ass, on your seat, and assessing situation. You've seen Liam Delap sailing away, you've seen Joker sailing away, you're diddling-dallying regarding Ollie Watkins. You got snubbed by what Aston Villa say, we're not going to sell you, but Aston Villa is also in a financial red, so everything has a price. But I'm going to sort of tell you after Fabrizio's story what in earth is going on. Fabrizio, let's continue.
With the coach involved in the conversation, Ruben Amorim, with the directors and with the financials of the deal to understand if they can make it happen or not. But this Benjamin Šeško situation will be, for sure, one to watch in the next, let's say, 7-10 days.
Okay, in 7 to 10 days. So that's what Fabrizio Romano is also confirming. The next week will be very important as Manchester United are kind of now gathered all the data. They are analyzing, they are looking at player profile like Ollie Watkins, like Benjamin Šeško. I hear nothing else, that there is only these two strikers that I want. But why do I think that Manchester United will go for Benjamin Šeško? It's very simple. You know that Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe, they like to invest in the up-and-coming youth, something in longevity, somebody that can play within the club for at least the next 10 years. Benjamin Šeško, as you can see, age 20 years of age, and it's 70 million euros, which is 60 million pounds. And that is a like-for-like for Ollie Watkins, which is now turning 30. That to me doesn't really sit well when you think what Ineos wants to do and what Sir Jim Ratcliffe was saying. We are not going to buy the Mbappe. We are looking to find the next Mbappe. And that is Benjamin Šeško, in my opinion. So really, Ollie Watkins, is there a stopgap? Of course, the fancy Ollie Watkins, we've seen the Premier League proven. But barring what we saw the game yesterday against West Ham, right? It was a brilliant display of power for Ruben Amorim. The pressing machines, the front six was pressing, and Rasmus Højlund was actually really good, right? I must say, but we can't play with only Rasmus Højlund and Xerxes, and we still have to develop Chido Obi Martin as well. But if Man United go in for Benjamin Šeško, there is time to develop both of them. And I would arguably say that Benjamin Šeško is a more of Amorim player than actually Ollie Watkins. He's fast, he can shoot outside the box, he's good in the air, something that Ollie Watkins is not. He's not good in the air, but Benjamin Šeško is a monster in the air, and he's a pressing machine himself. So that is what is going on at the moment. So it's going to be very important weeks ahead. What Fabrizio Romano, 6-7 days. We will see, because you can never predict the transfer window at the moment, right? It is like predicting the weather. Like, you look at the weather chart, you say, well, within 7 days, we will have, sunshine with a chance of meatballs, but you never know what's going to happen at the end of the day. But therefore, it's so important that you get involved with your comments down below. What do you think? Do you think that Manchester United will now enter the race for Benjamin Šeško? It's not going to be like a, how do I say, bidding war, because RB Leipzig has already said release clause 60 plus 4 add-ons, 5 add-ons. It's pretty much selling now the proposal to Benjamin Šeško, which Manchester United have already spoken to his agent to say, yeah, he wants to join the project. So he's about pretty much at the end of it, who can attract. But at the end of the day, if you are Benjamin Šeško, would you go to Newcastle? Would you go to the biggest club in the world? I'll let you decide. Anyway, guys, this has been Mick Ruby from Mufc Realist TV, having my little bit of a transfer say on this Sunday day. Please, guys, do not forget to do what? Exactly. Like and subscribe if you really like this video. Please tell others about this channel, and we should see you to the next time. Glory, glory, Manchester United. I'm out of here. Let's send it.